All right, and here we are with the South League. Um, Again, I'll be going from the bottom of the standings to the top. So if you're looking for your specific team, then just fast forward until you get to where I'm talking about them. Uh, First up today is Little Rock uh, at Bruin numbers. Um, let's see. Let's go over their schedule. They split with Kabul, my squad, and then they lost two to San Francisco, the Danny Tanners, and they were swept by the Buffalo at Lloyd Cars. Alright, let's go back and look at their rotation. Um, Six-man rotation, strict, but on occasion highest rested. Let's see here. First up will be Rod Velasquez, 32 years old, making 10.5 million a year through 2055. Um, he's got some solid pitches. He pitched decently well against Kabul. Didn't get a decision. That game was tight up through the sixth inning until we blew it open with a couple homers late against his bullpen. Um, but he pitched decently well. Buffalo got to him pretty early though in their matchup. Decent pitcher. Um, Not sure about an ace. I know Bruins just getting his team really going though, and he's done well with what he had to start with. Um, and this is definitely a good pitcher to have. Um, Pitched really well for him last year, but yeah, not sure about an ace, but it's somebody for him to build around and to have. I know he's signed through 2055, so if he gets some young guys up, can build around him, you never know. Roke Mobs, the Brazilian, he's actually getting up there in age as well, age 31, 8.6 million through 2055. Great stamina, great hold runners. Not much pitching wise besides an absolutely beautiful changeup. That thing must just drop off a table. um, really makes his stuff move. Well, not move, but really gives him good stuff there with that changeup. Probably makes his fastball look better than it actually is. And he's got great control, so he knows where it's going. That's always good. Looks like his movement dropped a little bit this off season. Still a very solid pitcher, though. I know he held us at bay in his first start of the season, and looks like he did pretty well against Buffalo as well. Took the loss there, but didn't have any run support. Only gave up 3 through 6. So start off the season with two quality starts. Can't really ask for much more than that. It's also a leader, so that's good for him. Let's see. Got old Vader here. I believe he was received in, was it the first annual Hunger Games? I believe so. Could be wrong, but I thought. Maybe I think Dublin got him and then traded. Dublin got him in the Hunger Games and then traded him to Little Rock for something. I'm not sure. But outside of his low stamina, sorry, I keep clearing my throat. I just ate lunch. But outside of his stamina, he looks like a pretty good pitcher. Good fastball, good splitter. Slider still getting up there. Screwball still coming along. Average curveball, but he should be a pretty good pitcher. Came in with pitched 11 games for Little Rock last season and held his own. Held his own. So at age 23, he will be a stalwart in their rotation for the next few years. Andrew Oliver, age 26, still on his rookie deal. Let's see, this will be his third season in the WBL. His first season he pitched pretty well in 15 starts. Last year he struggled a little bit though, and he struggled in his first start against San Francisco this year. Let's see. 60, 60, 60. Good fastball, good splitter. He's got a fork and a curve, and a slider with a changeup that should probably never be thrown. I don't know, a decent pitcher. See, I think he's got him as his number 4, and that'd be a good spot for him. Eulogio Xavier. Let's see, great stamina, great hold runners, really good fastball. Got a knuckle curve and an average changeup. But when you've got such a good fastball and a good knuckle curve like he has, you just need another pitch that you can throw in there every now and then to kind of fool around with him. Good movement, still building that control, but it's solid now. He was really good last year, pretty good the year before. So this will be his third, really second full season, but third season in the WBL. Looks like a solid pitcher. Really solid. Really, really solid. Pretty good little rotation he's got built there. I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, it's a pretty decent team, it looks like. Let's see. You got Lenny Udding or Uding. It depends on how you want to say it. Good speed at the top of the lineup. Good eye. Good avoid K. You would probably want a little more contact out of your leadoff hitter, but if he's getting on base and whatnot, then he's doing well. Playing left field, where he's very good defensively, and he's off to a fantastic start. 400 on base, 379, couple doubles. Yeah, he's doing well. Let's see. If what he's done in the past is what you should expect, then he's gonna, I don't know. Probably depends on what he's got left in the rest of his lineup. Depends on if leadoff would be the best spot for him, but probably Kevin Spoon McGuire, who I traded to Little Rock last season for Gustavo Bronco, that you'll see in a little bit. McGuire's a really good player, really good defensively in the corner outfield spots, high contact, never going to strike out. It's going to hit for gap power. He can steal some bases. He can bump for hits. He's a really good spray hitter. I mean, as you can see in the year he played for me, 29 doubles, 1 triple, 1 homer, 304 average, 339 on base, 36 stolen bases. I mean, he had a really solid season, and that was his first full season. And he played well last year for Little Rock in the time that he did. 3 triples, 13 doubles, 17 RBI, and 69 starts, 300 average. The reason I traded him was just because, as you can see, his WAR, even with that 300 season, 339 on base, he played a full season and he couldn't get above a .9 WAR. The young guys I had coming up, like Kaniliak and Alvarado, which you'll see later, they were going to man my corner outfield spots. And with his range at 60, I didn't think that was good enough for center, so I traded him for a better defensive center fielder. But he's doing well for Little Rock, and I'm glad. He'll continue to do well, I'm sure. Let's see. Donovan Cruz. Really good power, good to match, good contact. I'm surprised his average hasn't been as high as it is. I would expect him to be better than he's been. I mean, he's hitting for power. He's got good doubles too. He's just not really getting on base that well. I don't know. I guess that has something to do with his eye and his avoid K, with it both being low. He's just not making contact. Plus, he's only 24 years old, so he's still got time. I think he'll be a very solid player. Sagan, power, power, power. Gonna hit bombs. Gonna hit bombs. Plays good defense. Used to play shortstop some, but it looks like his range has gone down. Still outstanding third base or second baseman. Like I said, it's going to hit bombs. Led the South League in home runs last year at age 36. So, yeah, good signing. I mean, 287 on base percentage, but he had a 4.8 WAR. I mean, that's crazy. You're not even getting on base at a 290 clip. 29% of the time, you're not even getting on. You're only getting on base 29% of the time, and you're still almost at a 5 WAR. It just shows how much his power and extra base hits and everything was really factoring in there. And his defense. Pretty sure. Let's see, career. Wow, look at all those years. 2052. Yeah, he was plus 9.1 ZR at third base last season. So he plays good D. Obviously. Good player. Robert Maurice. Is he DHing or catching? He's actually catching. Whew. I really don't. His pitchers are going to look worse than they actually are because of this right here. 25 catcher ability. And your starting catcher. That's scary. That scares me. He's got a good bat still. Hasn't really shown it as of late. But the ratings are still there. But that defense. Scary starting. Let's see. Ryan Williams. Heck of a player. Nothing about his ratings jump out at you. But he always, I mean, let's see, he made the All-Star team last year. Year before was probably a better year. Well, definitely was a better year. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't expect his numbers out of those ratings. But very high work ethic, not greedy. Just kind of brings his lunch pail, you know. Interesting. Let's see, Fergus Cupid. Had a really good season in 2051 for Helsingborg. Very good defensively. Stud center fielder, 70, 70, 70 across the board. Not going to walk a lot. Going to strike out a little bit. But he's going to hit for some power. And he's going to play really good defense, which is why 249, 300 still lended him a 2.2 WAR last year. He hit 23 homers and played good defense, so that's why. Good player there. Tim Fisher, good corner outfield defense combined with a little pop. I don't think Bruin would expect a ton out of him, especially being down at the bottom of the lineup. He's kind of one of the guys, go out there and play good defense, and whatever you give me at the bat is just icing on the cake. Kind of the same here with Menta. Not going to strike out much, going to put the ball in play. Not a bad little player. And play good defense. Again, I'd like that range to be just 5 points higher. But it'll do. 60 will pass. 60 will pass. Good season for Little Rock in 2051. Stumbled a little bit last year, but he'll be alright. Good team for Little Rock. Much better than I was expecting at this point. I think 1-6 out of the gate. I think they'll be better than that, but we'll see. Baseball's a fickle game, but I do think they'll be better than that. Let's take a peek at Cairo. The Fighting at NMLers. Let's Let's see. Let's go to their schedule. Split with North Dakota, the Riggers, and then lost 3 of 4 to Buenos Aires. Not really close. Looks like their offense is struggling. Scored 4, 0, 0, 2, 1, and 3. So only scored more than 2 runs twice. But you can put it this way: if they score more than 2 runs, they win. So congratulations. Otherwise, let's look. Yeah, their ratings are not good. I know this is going to be a long rebuild for NML after he took over for Fig Nuts. Still got some leftover pieces, got some young players, but let's see. Kiefer Schmidt, age 30. Good player. Nothing outstanding, but he's been solid. 60, 65, 65. Anytime you get good movement, you're going to have a chance. Really good defensively. A little bit above average on his stamina and hold runners ratings over there. 2 really good starts to start off the year. 2-0 after those against North Dakota and Buenos Aires. He's the only person that's pitched them to a winning game so far. Let's see, salary $8 million. Does that go up? Yeah, it goes up a little bit, but 2 team options down here against their 10 million years. So I think he's worth the 8 and 9 million. Those 10 millions though, depending on where NML is when that comes around with his roster, depending on if he wants to buy those out or not. Wu Lee has been around for a long time with Cairo. He's been trade bait for a long time too. Seems like every season Wu Lee's name comes up about being traded to a contender, and it just never comes to fruition. And he's a solid pitcher, so I don't know. I guess maybe a little combination of the salary, 9.5 mil, along with his age. I don't know. I really don't know. He had a good start against North Dakota. Couldn't pull out the win. Had no runs behind him. 2-0 the loss, but solid pitcher. Kellahiam. He's been around for a long time too. I think I had him on Kabul way back when, or maybe not. Well, let's see. Nope, guess not. I think I tried signing him one off season or something, but either way, solid pitcher. Really good ratings over here. He's got 2 good pitches, fastball splitter, and a little bit of a changeup. Keeps the ball on the ground. He's had some rough years the past couple. Last year actually wasn't too bad. 4.09 ERA, 291 BABIP, 105 ERA plus. So last year was kind of a resurgence after the 2 years prior. But he's gonna have to keep showing it. Age 37. I'm surprised he's still as good as he is at age 37. And he's fragile, so we'll see. He'll hit the free agent market after this season. I don't know what he'll bring on that next year. TJ Gibbs, young 26-year-old. Doesn't have much as far as stuff, but he's got good movement and good control. Got a forkball, curveball, fastball, slider. All about WBL average pitches. I don't know. I know NML's, he's using what he's got. And he's doing a pretty decent job with it. It's not bad, Just not gonna be up there with the top echelon South League teams, which I don't think he or anyone else is expecting at the moment. Just kind of trying to bide his time and win what he can while he can. The Yard Man. Remember when he was drafted? That was that draft that was full of, I think, Turtle and the two infielders for Key West. I think they were part of that draft as well. 3, infielders with high contact, low I, and high avoid Ks. It was a weird draft, but they all turned into players. I think it was Turtle, Ben Nazi or whatever. Um, the other guy for Key West, his name's escaping me, and then you got Yardman here, who's turned into a pretty solid player. 3.2 WAR last season, 34 doubles, 5 triples, 7 homers, 306 average, 331 on base, and he's come out on fire this season. So, good player, definitely a good player. I think a lot of teams would like to have him at the top of their lineup. Dominique Gannett was traded for with Buffalo. I'm going to guess that was another one of Lloyd's. Yep, in exchange for nothing. Another one of Lloyd's salary dumps. Still has good power. Um, might get to around 20 homers, depending on how much he's played. If he's played almost a full season, he'll get up into 25, up to upper 20s probably. Um, good defense in the corner outfields. Still a solid player at age 36. He's passable. Doo-doo-doo. Ricardo Morales. Good player. Third baseman. Wow, he can play about anywhere in the infield, can he? Yes, he can. Really well, too. Good eye. Solid contact gap. Avoid Ks. He can hit for power every now and again. Yeah, see, 267 average, but a 366 on base. Walked 71 times last year, so very solid player. Only 25, but he does often loaf it. So might need some high leader ability type guys around him. Signed to a long-term deal. What's up with all these double team options I keep seeing? Just seems kind of strange. But let's see. Scott Bell also been part of trade talks. Was really good in his early career. Kind of slowed off a little bit, and then he was really good again last year. We'll see if he continues it. It's not going to strike out much. Going to hit for a lot of power. And he's a DH. That's why he's been trade bait for NML and whoever the past couple seasons. But nobody wants to trade for a DH making almost 19 million. There's too many DHs out there these days. Catcher, Sal Lynch. Solid catcher. Nothing extremely great, but nothing, probably about above average catcher in the league. And he's 26, first season in the WBL. He's off to a good start. Marvin Randall. I guess shortstop. Solid shortstop. Bat's not there much, but defensively he's not bad. In 41 games last year, he was solid. 1 WAR. Hit 8 homers, which is surprising in 41 games. With those ratings, especially. Well, maybe he's got a little hidden pop in there. Hubert Eglinton. Solid outfielder. Look at those defensive ratings. Yeah. Not going to bring much to the plate, though. You wouldn't think, but then you look at his past, especially the past 2 years, and he's been solid. Much more solid than his ratings would suggest, which I'm going to guess. Yeah, a little drop in ratings there. Soul patch. But, yeah. I'm sure NML would take it if he could get another season like one of those two. Really showed some power there, surprisingly. I don't know. I just don't see it, but some of these guys outplay their ratings. Joe Kirk, former Kabul Bull, as you can see, still repping the gear. Let him go a couple seasons back after his ratings started to decline. I really regretted it last year because his defense was still really good and because he had a little bit of a resurgence with Cairo and played really well. Um, so yeah, I was missing a good shortstop last year, and he would have been it. But can't go crying over spilt milk. He's gone. He's playing well. Happy for him. Uh, Hope he continues. He was a vital part of the Kabul growth, and he's still a good player at 32 and very cheap. He was always cheap. Um, let's see. Yeah, see, he hasn't made over 1.5 million in a season. He's been playing for 10. This is his 10th season, and he's made $11 million. So for the money, absolute steal in my opinion. Um, you've got 23 career WAR for 11 million career dollars. It's not bad. And Tony Rosales, another past Bull. Tony was a solid player, but he never. I always wanted more out of him. When his first year coming into the league, 2048 was his best time as a Bull. 81 games started, 8 homers, 51 RBI, batted 296. Um, Still hasn't gotten over a 100 OPS plus, but that season was very good. And his his 2048. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pull that up. I don't know how to, but his 2048 uh, World Series, the way or postseason, sorry, was phenomenal. I'm not gonna be able to pull up his stats for that. I probably could, but I just don't know how, and I probably should have looked it up before. Um, but yeah, he was. I mean, he hit like 380 with 9 doubles or something like that over the postseason in 2048. Still young. He's only 26, and he's been in the league 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will be his sixth year. So I probably brought him up a little too early. Um, he had like 55 or 60 potential contacts when he was younger, and I was really expecting something, and he just never turned out for me. But maybe for Cairo, maybe a new home will help him. Let's get back here. All right, and that's his rotation. That's his roster. So let's move on to the Riggers of North Dakota, Travis's team. What's his name? Travis Suckstick 7401. Let's see. They are 2-3, split with Cairo, and lost 2 of 3 to San Francisco. Their offense also seems to be struggling just a tad bit. Pitching hasn't been bad, although Idogbe, I probably screwed that all up. I'd guess Idogbe had a rough time, but let's start with Mr. Meyer here. Solid pitcher. Uh, Pitchers are always going to look 10 times better than they actually are in the North Dakota Riggers atmosphere, where the ball just goes up in the air and then dies. Um, Dave Meyer, yeah, good pitcher. He was really good last year. Only 26 years old. Um, yeah, he'll be good. He'll be good again this year. What can I say? 7 innings against Cairo, only gave up 1 earned run, struck out 8, 10 ground balls to 2 fly balls. So obviously a he relies heavily on ground balls, which is strange for Travis's pitchers because, like I said, balls get hit up in the air there and they just die. Terry Morgan, also another young pitcher. Travis has got some decent young pitchers here. Some really good pitches. I'm surprised his stuff is only 55. Um, Usually, if you've got one pitch in the 70s, it's at least 60. So that's a little strange to me, especially when you got 70, 60, 60 there. But oh well. He's a team leader. Let's see, last year he wasn't very good last year. almost a 5 ERA. His WHIP was good, and his BABIP was low, surprisingly. I don't know. I understand a little bit about sabermetrics, but most of you guys on here know a lot more about it than I do, so you could probably explain that away. But um, I don't know. He looks in Travis's park. He'll probably be really good. In most parks he would be, an okay pitcher. Freddie Ramos, another one, kind of like the last guy we just talked about. Um, yeah, these are all young guys. I'm just noticing that 24, 25, 25. Idagbe, 28. He's the older statesman of the group. He's pitched really well for North Dakota, obviously. Look at that. Led the league in BABIP. Lowest. That's probably why his WAR was so low, because he got so lucky all season. 3 decent pitches, though. Good hold runners. He's a lefty, so he's going to screw with some people. And Jose Rivera, another one in that same vein. A bunch of 55s and 60s for his pitchers, but they perform. They perform well for him. So, all right, let's go to the lineup. Mulia Kusuma. He's actually American, from Alabama. Very good defensive shortstop. And let's see, last year his bat, his bat is actually better than you would expect coming from those ratings. Let's see if OSA thinks he's any better. No. Yeah, his bat's actually better than you would think. I would take that out of my shortstop all year long. 320, 330 on base, over 250 average. I would take it. Mason Brett, who I tried to get from Sean at one point. I really liked him. I don't know why Sean was playing him at first base when when he could be, an all-star shortstop or an all-star center fielder, both of which are really tough to come by. Hasn't shown it with the bat yet. He's still only 24, so he's got time. But, with 60% contact, really being able to hit it into the gap and not striking out much, you would think his bat would be a little bit better than these numbers are showing. But he's still got time. And he's kind of been, I don't know, he doesn't look like, his first year he came in, it looks like he started a lot. He was a starter. But the last last season, just the trade, I guess. Never mind. I thought these were 3 separate years, but no, these were together. So, I don't know. It's going to come along. He's going to hit. He's going to play really good defense. It's just kind of a win thing and not a if. He'll be a good player. I wanted him, but I just couldn't put the package together to get him. Down by the schoolyard, Manuel, really good player. Yeah, I mean, if you can package contact with that kind of defense, a little bit of power, and not striking out for your center fielder, then yeah. Let's see, when did he? All-Star last year. Probably an All-Star this year, and let's see, how old is he? 24. Oh yeah, probably a perennial All-Star. He signed the Faz. Oh wait, he traded for the Faz last year. Okay, a little bit of power into the lineup. Hard to hit for power in his ballpark, so got to try and find it somewhere. Faz has good power. I signed him for 1 year back in 2048, and he had a magnificent season as DH/first baseman for me. Helped me get to a World Series and win it. He hasn't been that good again since then, but for his age, He's still been really good. 38 years old, still got these ratings and putting up these numbers. I don't know. Looks like last year. Well, I won't say last year he started having a downturn. I mean, he hit 35 homers and hit 9 with the Riggers in 34 games in their ballpark. So, he'll get it going. Rafael Fulton Juarez. I know Travis has been on his case about how much shit he causes, his questionable work ethic. But he is a solid player. He's going to hit for good power, decent average. He's going to get on base a little bit. 2 5-WAR seasons with the Riggers. If you can get 5 WAR out of your third baseman, you're doing well. 5 WAR out of anybody, you're doing well. Claudio Montes, very good catcher, very good defensively, got a good bat. Let's see, about a combined 3 WAR over the past 2 seasons, 2.5 or so out of the past 3. It's pretty solid. Hits for a little power, a lot of doubles, 37 each the last 2 seasons. Strikes out a good bit, but doesn't walk much. But I mean, if your catcher can play good defense, what you can get out of the bat is icing on the cake. Let's see here, Mr. Magnanti. I don't know. I'm not very good with my Italian. He's hot to start the season. 4 starts, 5 games played, 8 of 16 with a double, a homer, 500 average. Yeah, he's very hot to start the season. Lots of power. He's another one of those guys like with Faz where you're gonna need guys with high power to put up power numbers in that ballpark, and he's one of them. Danny Rodriguez, solid first baseman, good, really good defensively. Gonna hit for power. He hit 27 homers for North Dakota last season, with 32 doubles. So that's solid. That's solid out of your first baseman. He's still young too. Yeah, I'm sure you'd like that on base percentage to be a little higher, but if you can get 27 homers out of your 8 spot, doing pretty good. And last but not least, Pedro Chavez, Costa Rican, 31 years old. Solid second baseman, defensively. Played really well for Istanbul last season, 2.3 WAR in 77 games. It's very solid for Istanbul. Travis picked this guy up for $1.2 million per year this offseason. Solid pickup. Very solid pickup. Off to a little bit of a slow start, but I'm sure he'll get it going. Yeah, he's a very solid pickup for 2 years, especially. Looking at the South League rankings, of course, his pitching numbers are going to be higher than his batting numbers. That looks about right. Defensive efficiency up top. Bullpen hasn't given up a run yet. Starters are very good. I know he's not happy being 2-3, but your bats are going to come around. If you can pitch like that, you'll be just fine. False Bay. False Bay is 2-3 as well, which is kind of, you expect them to be a little higher, but Buffalo's really going for it this year, as you can tell. They were 0-2 versus Buffalo, and then took 2 of 3 versus Key West. Let's see what they've got. I know they got Mega Man Corbishley here, one of the best pitchers in the league, though he got stroked against Buffalo. Buffalo hit 4 bombs off of him in 4 innings, 11 hits, 8 total runs. So, yeah, that's kind of scary. Wow, he's getting paid $50 million this year too. So, well, $50 million over the next 4 years. Touche. Make money, money, make money, money, money. He pitches innings. Look, he led for 2048, 2049, and 2050. He led the North League in innings pitched. He strikes the shit out of people too. Basically, he's always gonna be the league leader in strikeouts, and he was really good last year. Led the South League in ERA. Led the South League in ERA, wins, strikeouts, WHIP, K per nine, you name it. He won it. Crazy fastball, 100 plus, constantly, 80 out of 80, with a good curve and forkball. He's tough to hit. He's tough to hit. You won't get to him like that every time, like Buffalo did. Once in a blue moon. Juan Ringo Santos, another guy with great stuff. Gosh, False Bay is going to be striking everybody out. Though, looks like he's been using him out of the bullpen until this. Well, his first season he was a starter. And False Bay used him out of the pen for 2 years, and now he's back to starting. I don't know why he moved him to the pen. I don't know. Maybe JD you'll give us an explanation on that. You don't have to, but I'm just wondering why. Because he didn't have a bad first year, 4.02 for, let's see, he's 26 now, so he'd have been 25, 24, 23. 4.02 for a 23-year-old in his first season. 2.1 WAR. I mean, he didn't have a bad year. Wonder why he got moved to the pen. I don't know enough about your team, JD. But he looks like a solid dude. Yages. I don't know. He's very unhappy about something. Let's see. His performance. Although he just pitched 8 innings of 1-run ball that was only because of an error, it appears. But he's not happy with his performance. Guess he wanted the full 9 innings, complete game. He's going all Ezekiel Elliott on him, blaming the coaches. But he's been solid, up and down, kind of. Well, looks like JD moving guys in and out of the pen. I don't know. He was really good out of the pen there, those 2 years. And then he started some. And he was good as a starter there. Pretty good. And then he was about the same those 2 seasons, really. I don't know, he looks decent. I mean, he doesn't have great pitches, but he's got great control and good movement, so. And he's cheap, 900K. Cuevas, 2 good pitches, fastball, screwball, a little bit of a curve and a slider. Really good at holding runners because he's a lefty, and he's got a little bit above average stamina. I don't know. His last 2 seasons have been not what JD expects out of him, not what I would expect out of him either. Especially after 2048 and 2049, he's just kind of, his numbers have declined each year after those, and they were really good in 2048 and 2049, but not so good the last couple years. Maybe he'll bounce out of it. He's still only 27. He's been pitching for a long time for a 27-year-old, but we'll see. And Jose Romero, who lots of green, age 30. Been with Las Vegas for the past couple years. He came over in a trade with Las Vegas for Patera. I talked about this guy in the North League video. Talked about him. But yeah, I mean, he looks really solid, really good. JD's got him at his number 5 position. He'd be a number 3 for me, I think. So JD's always stacking up good pitching. Let's see. Let's go with his bats. There's Patera, whatever. He's warm. Doesn't have great range, but his air and arm make up for it. He can play first base as well, though he has no power. So, um, a backup every now and again, or a spot start for your first baseman every now and again would be there. Um, he's gonna get on base. He gets on base a shit ton. In 70 starts last season, he was a 410 on base percentage. The year before is 354 and 81 starts. In 2050, it was 363 and 96 starts. Um, yeah, he's just not going to hit for power and not much gap, so it's going to be all singles and walks. The good news is he has speed, stealing ability, so once he does get on base, he might turn that single into a double or that walk into a double. Um, I don't know. I like him though because you can never, in that leadoff spot, you've got to have a guy that can get on base. He's got to be able to get on base. So that's a good start for him, being able to get on base. Mounds playing third base, really good. Jesus, look at those 80s and the defensive ratings. Just an absolute stud at third base. His bat, no power, very little eye. It's not going to walk much at all. Look at these walk numbers. Holy cow! Walk walked 9 times in 144 games started in 2048. 9. He hasn't walked double digits in a season yet. That's insane. Insane. That dude goes up hacking. Well, he's a solid player though. I don't know. He's not going to get on base easily. He's going to have to hit his way on. Bug, there's no. I don't have to say anything about him. Everyone knows who the Bug is. Um, the bidding war for him in IFA. Well, it really wasn't much of a bidding war. JD just bought him for $60 million, which was like almost, let's see, $60 million, and then you're talking about taxing 100% after $4 million, so you add on another 56, so that's like 100 and I don't know, a lot, 116 million. 116 million he paid for that one guy. But look at his ratings. He's won, let's see, one outstanding hitting wizard award, 2051, where he was really good. Led the league in RBI, average on base, slugging, OPS, WAR. He was a 9.5 WAR. He was really good at shortstop. I think his range has gone down a little bit, though. JD could correct me on that. So yeah, he'd be a really good third baseman. I mean, probably the best third baseman in the league. Just a really, really good player. Walks more than he strikes out. Hits for power. Hits for gap power. Walks a lot. Gets on base. Plays good defense. I mean, what more could you ask for? And he's signed to a friendly contract. 11, 12, 11, 10 until 2056, so he'll be over 30 before he gets another contract. Yep, really good player. Owen Rodis, huge power. He's a catcher, so no matter his contact, he's not going to hit for a high average. So even though he's got that 65 contact, as you can see, he's in the 260s, 270s. But good catcher. I mean, solid defense. Really hits for power. His WAR is constantly above 3. Can't ask for much more. Pat Smith, not much going on with this guy. Played well in spot time last season, and he's off to a really good start this season. Maybe he plays above his ratings. OSA likes him a little bit better. I don't know. Danny Worsfold, former Helsingborg player. He hasn't really done much lately. Maybe he comes around. Maybe he comes around. Jose Robles. I don't know. With as much money as he's paying Corbishley and guys like Rudis getting 19 million, he's probably having to squeeze guys like this in cheap. You know, they're not going to do a whole lot, but they're cheap and they allow for those other contracts. Langill, I don't know. I'm not Canadian. Osick, how do you say this guy's name? Um, Really good defense. You know, he was a former Kabul farmhand. Um, his potential ratings were higher than these back then, but I never expected him to perform like he has in the WBL. Um, if I did, I would have kept him. I believe I traded him for Geiler Schultz. Him and Jell Hedblom, who is now out of the league and retired, for Geiler Schultz, who is now basically dead. Um, Schultz did help me to a championship, though, so I'll take that. But Langilly is a good shortstop. Really good second baseman. And let's see, Lance Hammond. I remember when he was drafted, I believe Amsterdam drafted this guy. He was supposed to have really high contact and really high void Ks and not much else. And it doesn't look like the contact made it to where it was gonna. And yeah, I don't know. I don't see much upside with this guy besides being cheap. But he is cheap. And he's in the 9 hole, so probably not expected much out of him from Fotsbay's point of view. All right. Let's see. His rankings, just not much going on right now, which is probably why he won't turn out a 2-3 record. He'll get that better though. Bay will be battling for a playoff spot and probably higher than that before midseason. They'll find their way. Buenos Aires, Osick, the Fighting Gauchos. Let's check these guys out. Where are they at? 3-3. They lost 2 to Key West and then took 3 or 4 against Cairo. Let's start with none other than Mustafa Fly-By-Night Kasib, who has been the quintessential ace starting pitcher for the WBL since basically its inception. Dude just goes out and throws 220 innings a year. You can mark right in a 2.2 to 2.5 ERA and 250 Ks every season. I mean, he's just been the dude, you know, the dude abides. And he's been the dude. I mean, just look at these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 outstanding pitching wizards. New Wizard Award, 2 gold gloves, you know, countless all-stars. I hate that he hasn't won a championship. I hate that he hasn't, you know, you get a player like this, you want them to go out with everything, but it's kind of eluded him. Or didn't Buenos Aires win a championship? Wait a minute. Maybe not. I think Buenos Aires made it to the championship. I don't think they won the championship. So yeah, no championship for him. His stuff has fallen greatly. He was basically a 70s across type of guy, and it's dropped. He'll still be a good pitcher. He's still got good pitches. I don't know if he's going to be the 10 plus WAR kind of guy he has been, though. I would be surprised if he was. I think he's going to come back down and be a 4 to 5 WAR type guy, maybe 6. Low threes, mid 3 ERAs. I would be surprised if he was still getting these type of numbers with this ratings drop. But he's 32 years old. He's getting up there in age. Um, Still a very good pitcher. Probably, the pitcher. I won't even say probably. I'll say the pitcher in the league for the past decade. Uh, Definite. I know I keep going back to him, but definite Hall of Famer, first ballot. Write him in. Chalk it up. He's in. Uh, let's see. Dwayne Kidwell. He was signed as a free agent this offseason. Pretty solid pickup. Really hasn't had the numbers. Really good stamina, good hold runners. He's a left-hander. He just hasn't had the numbers. I mean, he hasn't been able to get below 4 ERA. 4.13 last year and 40 starts. Good grief. For Key West, it was the best he's been able to do. Um, maybe Buenos Aires will get him down below that. They usually have a good defense. Um, so maybe he can set that personal record. Byron Channing, really good slider. I mean, just a torrential slider, kind of like a Carlos Rodon type slider. And then a really good fastball. Uh, this guy's almost like a right-handed Carlos Rodon, except he's got better control, I'd say. Um, but yeah, and you just a wipeout slider. Thing probably is nasty. Um, Pitched really well last year. He's only 23. He's going to strike out tons of people. Only has really 2 pitches. That circle change is good enough, I think, and that slider is good enough to where I don't think it's going to matter. But uh, like this says, borderline starter. It's because that pitch isn't good enough. I think it'll be good enough, but it's because that pitch isn't good that he's a borderline starter. But I think he's fine as a starter. He'll be a really good one. Mitch Demo Wilson. 3 good pitches. Not great on the movement. Control's lacking a little bit. Um, Pitched well for his first 2 seasons and has kind of fallen on hard times the last 2. I don't know. Maybe he'll turn it back around. He's 29. I don't know. Somewhat of a leader. He's pretty smart. He gets along with everyone. That's good. If you're gonna have a guy that's kind of struggling a little bit, at least he's a leader. Makes you feel like he's gonna bounce back somewhat. And this guy is basically a Mitch Demo Wilson clone. Whoa, he's got 30 stamina as a starter. He's got great pitches. That'll work as a starter. That's something. I'll be interested to keep my eye on that and see how that works out. I do wonder why his overall rating is only half a star and his potential is 4 stars. However, he is he's fully reached his potential. That is strange. That is strange. Oh well. Good starters. Kasib's dropping off a little bit. Channing is really good looking. Kidwell, he's a good, professional type pitcher. Wilson and Rodriguez are kind of there. They got some good pitches and whatnot. Nothing studly, but good. Um, yeah, not bad. Let's check out their lineup. Off the top, you've got Salvador Luna, really good player, really solid outfielder, center fielder definitely. Got that 70 range. Really good arm for a center fielder. I mean, that's something. The bat ratings look solid. The results haven't met that yet, but for some reason, young outfielders just don't seem to work out for Osick. I remember Aiden Davies. he didn't do much for Osick, and then he left, and I signed him, and he performed for Buffalo, and I think he's performing for San Francisco or somebody right now. But yeah, this guy kind of reminds me of that. Good defense, good ratings, just not really performing down here. Not bad, don't get me wrong. You know, could be much worse, but not up to that standard, I would think. But I could be expecting too much. I could be expecting too much. Let's see. Cab Fair. I like Cab Fair. Always have. Great contact. Doesn't strike out. Good 1-2 type hole hitter. He's going to have 300 average. Um, what's not to like about that? Plus, he's a good leader. Very intelligent. Extremely popular. I mean, what's there not to like about him? He's Mr. Buenos Aires. Cat Cam. Good grief. I didn't know his gap power was so high. Great catcher. Um, yeah. Guess he hasn't been starting for Buenos Aires. That's interesting. I don't know who's been starting at catcher for Buenos Aires. Osick could tell us, but I'm sure right now he's watching this and saying, blah, 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 has started. This guy's been good enough to start, though, I would guess. He's played decent, and I mean, he's positive WAR playing sparingly, so a lot of times guys don't like playing sparingly, or they're not very good at it. They don't put up good numbers. Tinjong Xiao. It's a very good player. I don't guess he's playing him in center field anymore. Yeah, he is playing him in center field. I would have expected Luna. Luna's got a little more range. I don't know. It's cool though. He was very good back in his day. He's gotten a little old now. Um, got a little old now. Very strikeout prone. But he was very good. I mean, look at those 3 WARs there. He led the league in WAR in 20, 48, 49, and 50. Kind of fallen off a little bit the past few. Oh, he led the league in doubles last year, 54. That's a lot of doubles. Still had a really good season last year. 5 WAR basically. You know, I'll take that. But 33, starting to fall off a little bit, I think. And he's still locked into a $19.1 million contract the next couple of seasons. So hopefully he doesn't fall off too much for Osick. The Beast Vasayo, another outfielder. Says he's center fielder, but he's playing left. Yeah. I don't know. I guess he's playing Luna and right. Yeah. I don't know. Good range on all of them. You know, they could all play any position basically. I wouldn't put him in center, but he could play either left or right and be above average, way above average at both. It's gonna hit for gap, power, you know, a little bit of home run pop. Solid player. I like him. Hasn't played a full season yet in the WBL. Maybe if he gets, this year he gets more time, he'll produce like Osick wants. Harley Haygate. I've been watching this guy for years, waiting for him to come up. 55 range is a little not enough for a shortstop in my opinion. But I mean it's above average, so he's good error, good turn double play, good enough arm for a shortstop, so he'll make it work, I'm sure. 250 last year in his first, well, I wouldn't say first full season. He played 82 games the year before, so he's been basically in the WBL for a year and a half. Hasn't really hit like Osick would think. Maybe he turns it up this year. He's still only 23. I keep talking about these guys not hitting, and now look at their age, and they're 22, 23. Give them a couple years to find themselves. Antonio Moreno walks a ton, really gets on base. Probably doesn't have the power you're looking for out of a first baseman, but I mean 363 on base percentage. I would almost be I would almost want to put him up towards the top of the lineup, though. His speed and base running, he would clog up the base paths. Bonilla, good overall bat. Gonna guess he's DHing. Yep. Good overall bat. Yeah, it's been pretty decent. Hitting some bombs. Last year wasn't very good with San Fran. Hopefully Rosicki gets back to his 2050, 2051 type stats. He's off to a really hot start this year. Couple multi-hit games already. And last but not least, Artyom Chikomasov, who was, he played for me. Never started. Didn't play a ton. He always did just enough to kind of hang around and be a backup. His ratings have dropped a little bit from when he was with the Bulls. But I don't know. Let's see. He got him starting at second base. He'll be solid, I think. He's better against left-handers. So maybe if he's got him starting as third. Sorry. Maybe if he's got somebody he can platoon him with, that'll work out. He may be platooning. But let's see. Good pitching stats, which you would expect after going over those pitchers. He's got some good ones. Bats are okay, really. He's just not scoring runs. I mean, you're third in average and third in on-base percentage, and then fifth in runs. And you've played a game more than most people. It reminds me of Kabul last season. I had second or third best batting average and second or third best on-base percentage most of the season, and I was bottom third of the league in runs scored. I was getting guys on, I just couldn't get them in. That was really disappointing, so I'm hoping that turns around for Osick. All right, let's take a peek at Key West. Tony Gin and Juice's team, the newest owner in the WBL. Let's see what he's doing with these guys. They're 3-2. Took 2 from Buenos Aires and then 1 of 3 from False Bay. Let's look at their pitching. Robbie Marignan. I'll try this. Marignason. Robbie Marignason. Hope that's close. He's a Reuben. Good stuff. Great control. Great stuff. Great control. Good movement. Really good fastball. With it only 95 to 97, I'm guessing it has a little life to it, a little run. Since it's 75, usually 75, 80 fastballs, you're looking at 98 to 100 plus. So I'm guessing it's got a little run to it to be as good as it is at 75. Good sinker, good forkball. I love sinker ballers, so I would love to have this guy on my team. He's pitched really well. I mean, really well. He's a really good pitcher. I mean, you can just look at his stats: 2.09, 3.62, 2.96, 6.5 WAR last season. He's been good. He's been really good. He's 30, so he's getting up there. He's signed through 2056, and his contract goes up each year, so it's going to start paying him. But I think he's worth it if he can continue. Raul Torres was traded forward Las Vegas. I remember Guksta making that trade. I can't remember who all he sent over to Las Vegas. Let's see. He sent him a first rounder and a couple guys that I don't even know. There may have been more to that as well. Solid pitcher though. He's had 3 good seasons with Key West and 1 really bad one. Even in the really bad one, he had 3.3 pitcher WAR. But he was really unlucky. Look at that 356 BABIP. Really unlucky. Gave up twice as many homers as the year before too. So tough skedding that year. Skedding. Nice words. Stephen 0-10 Adams. 40 starts last year. 0-10. Win-loss record. 6.67 ERA. Yeah. I don't know what to talk about with this shithead. So I'm not. Jorge Martinez. Whoa. Relief pitcher, no doubt. Really good stamina, but he's a two-pitch guy. And in his start, he went 2.1 innings. So I don't know. Let me see what he's got going on here. Oh, those guys' pitch counts are at 30 and 25. So that's, oh, okay. Touche. Mario Caro. He's got a lot of pitches, none of them very good. But he can put them where he wants them. That's why he was out of the bullpen last year. Getting a chance at starting this year, which with that stamina and hold runners, that many pitches, he probably should be. So, not bad pitching staff. Marigneson, Torres, obviously, your two studs. And then a couple relief pitchers, it looks like. I don't know. Interested to see how that works out for Tony, though. His starter's ERA, 0.68. But I guess with those two guys only throwing 2 innings apiece, might help that out a little bit. But can't go against what Caro and Marigneson did. Caro went 8 shutout innings against False Bay, and Marigneson went 7 shutout innings against Buenos Aires. All right, let's look at the lineup. Brady, there's Rocky Thompson. Good second baseman defensively, and the bat is really good. Led the league in plate appearances, at bats, hits, and triples last year. 5.8 WAR, 4.3 the year before. Steals bases, lots of bases, and hits for days. Doesn't strike out. Doesn't walk much, but doesn't strike out at all. So, only 23 years old. This is his 4th season in the WBL, so he's been playing for a while. The other infielder, Turtle Ben Nazi, the Egyptian. Hit like an Egyptian. Has no eye, no power, but he hits the shit out of the ball. Led the league in average last season. Little older than Rocky at 25, but still a really good player. Defense isn't up to par, not for a shortstop at least. Needs to be more of a third baseman, I think, or second baseman. But he's got Rocky at second base, so I don't know. I don't know what to tell him there. But you can't really take that bat off the field, so. Francisco Rojas, really good catcher, really good hitting catcher, probably the best catcher in the South League. Has been the best catcher for a while. Was really good in Amsterdam. Continued on to Key West, but he's not quite as good in Key West as he was in Amsterdam. But he doesn't have the bats surrounding him that he had in Amsterdam, so still really good. Ryan Fuller, very solid player. Continued to get better his ratings wise. Took a little bit of a dip last year from his first 3 seasons, but overall still very solid. I don't know. I would take him in a heartbeat. Petter Leifson. Oh, Petter. Definite DH. Lots of power. Used to hit with lots of power. We'll see if he continues. Oh, I can't stop yawning. Sorry. It's off to a good start this year. Not with the power, but with the average. We'll see if that was I'm sure it was a good pickup. We'll see if it works out for him. Obke Van Zon. Yeah, he was another Kabul farmhand for a while. I don't know. I would like to think, Tony, that there were better outfielders out there. But I don't know. I don't know what to tell you on that one, man. That was a bad one. Mario Baez. Solid hitting first baseman. Not gonna walk much. Gonna hit for some power. Uh, yeah, I mean, plus WAR guy that's gonna hit for power at first base and play good defense. Yeah, huge dude, 6'8", 240. Damn. Yeah, it's kind of what you expect out of your first baseman. Hit for power, not a whole lot of walks. Chris Carrillo. Um, There's some talk about this signing. Really good defensive player. Bat's starting to decline a little bit though. He was signed for 3 years at $8 million. So I don't know. $8 million is quite a bit for that bat, I think. But if he plays really solid defense and 2.3 WAR. And if he could get 2.3 WAR again, I think he'd take it. Robin Hawkeye Marson, really good third baseman defensively. The bat, we'll see. Last year wasn't terrible. 8 homers, batted 256, 308 on base. Solid. And that's them. Let's see. Like I said, first starter's ERA, but he's got 2 guys that are going about 2 innings apiece right now. Decent defense. Everything else is a ways away from being good. That offense needs to pick it up a little bit. There's no power coming out of them right now. I'm sure it'll come around. It's only the first week. San Fran, fighting Danny Tanners. Everywhere you look. Let's check out their rotation. Abdul Sabur bin Abedin. Damn, I messed that all up. 2 pitches that are really, really, really good. And then a changeup that he just kind of rolls up there. He was a really good starter in Key West. Really good starter in Key West. Really good out of the bullpen in False Bay. So he can do both. He is getting up there in age though, but his stuff hasn't dropped any. So I expect him to be good again. As long as San Fran plays some defense behind him. Dave Drummer Christian, another really solid pitcher. Had a really good year last year. And San Fran's doing this 4-pitcher deal where the pitch counts are locked at 60. And they got a ton of bullpen arms. So I don't know. It'll hurt their starting pitcher stats, but it works out for him. So Alonzo Truck Stop Garcia, good stuff. All the way around. Good splitter. Really good changeup. Average fastball. Great stamina and hold runners. He looks like a good pitcher. He'll have to step it up from what he did last year, but it's well on his way, I think. Let's see, did I miss one, or was I talked about truck stop? Okay. Zaid Hudhaifa. It's kind of hard to talk about these guys because he's only throwing them 3 to 4 innings apiece. So while they're starting, they're not really starting. They're just like extended bullpen type dudes. But they're actual starters. They're just only throwing 4 innings. He's pulling that stuff that kind of Tampa Bay did this year, where they get through the lineup twice, and then after that they start pulling them so as not to be seen a third time, because the stats show that once they're seen a third time that they start really getting beat up. We'll see if it works. Starters ERA's 7th, but it's only a 3.6, so that shows you that everybody's starters are pitching well right now. For you to be ranked 7th with a 3.6 starter ERA, that's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. All right, let's look at the lineup. Fred Smith, really good bat, but not much defensively. Below average at first base, but really first base defense is kind of, I don't know. It's nice to have a first baseman that's really good, but it's kind of a luxury. I wouldn't really worry about it a ton. He's been really good the last few years. Last year, look at that, 345, 393. Only hit 16 homers. I don't know. He's kind of dropped off with his homers, his power. For some reason, he hit his prime and it's not just not hitting as many homers. But, maybe it'll come around. I don't know. Maybe. He is hitting leadoff, though, which, with those running ratings, I don't know. If he gets on base, that's good, but it's kind of blocking everything. Especially with this guy behind him, who can just run like the wind. Had an 8.8 WAR last year and led the league. Desi Hodge, great center fielder, great bat, good power, steals bases, does it all. Mr. Danny Tanner. Here's Aiden Davies I was talking about. As you can see, like I was talking about earlier, at Buenos Aires, you know, he played for Buenos Aires before 2048, and you can see Osick kind of moved him down to AAA to try to get him going, which it happened. It just didn't really pan out. When he was brought back up, he didn't hit. So then I sign him, and he goes 25 doubles, 7 triples, 20 homers, batting 298, 336. And then the next year, 27 doubles, 13 triples, 15 homers, batting 320, 367. So it's just weird how he just did not play, and then all of a sudden he gets out of Buenos Aires and bam, turns it on. And then I traded him off for, not that one. Let's see. Octavio Caniliac was the big piece in that trade to Buffalo, and Caniliac looks like an absolute beast right now, coming up. So he played really well for Buffalo in 2051, though. Really well. He continued on. And he's played well for San Fran so far, too. 17 triples last year. Good grief. Look at all those extra base hits. Man. Good on him. Really good player, though. Earning his money. That stash needs to go, though. Let's see. Farik Amar. Still playing, are you, Farik? Good grief, man. You've been everywhere. Still playing well, too. Not as well as he used to, but still playing well. Rob Stairs, catcher, good defensive catcher, good power. He's going to hit homers. Not going to get on base much. Not going to get for high average, but he's going to hit homers, which will give him a good WAR to go with his good defense. And he's cheap, $4 million. That's not bad for a good catcher. Carlos Vasquez at second base. Really good second baseman defensively and a solid bat. Yeah, he'll improve upon that. He should. He's only 22. Yeah. He should improve upon that. This will keep improving. 4.5 star potential type player. He's off to a slow start this season, but he'll get better. He looks like he's 40. The Utah years. Let's see. Brandon Marsh. Good defensively in left field. A little bit of a weak arm. Kind of average overall, bat-wise. Had a solid season last year. And 2 years ago. 3 years ago, sorry. Hey, a little average outfielder. Corner outfielder. Can't expect much, but he's going to give you a little something. Radislav Chekhov. The Rusky. Age 34. Stuff starting to decline a little bit. You can see his eye going down. He's probably got cataracts. I don't know. Nothing special, but he's cheap and he's going to get you. He's going to play good defense and he's going to, whatever he brings offensively is just icing on the cake. Andy Dura. Andy Bobandy. Good defense. I mean, he's got some good defensive players. The offense is just kind of icing on the cake for a lot of these guys. But they should all play good defense. Went 4-1. Took 2 from Little Rock and then 2 out of 3 from North Dakota. So, good start for San Fran. All right, Alright, let's take a peek at Kabul. That'd be my squad. Let's see. We split with Little Rock and took 3 from Istanbul. Usually Kabul's very bad on the road, so going 4-1 on the road to start the season was a good start. Peppers Pasquet. As you can see, he's got 2 really good pitches and then a little bit above average cutter. Low stamina, lower than I want, but it is what it is. He kind of bounces back and forth between 50 and 55. Good hold runners for a right-hander. Good control. He's actually, I don't know if I could pull that up. Let's see, game log. Yeah, he's gone 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 26 innings without walking a batter, including spring training, which I thought was impressive. I noticed it after spring training, and I noticed he didn't walk a guy last night. So, yeah, 26 innings without walking a batter so far. Um, so, yeah, that's kind of impressive in my mind. But he did get hit around a little bit by Little Rock. Gave up a homer, a bunch of hits, 10 hits in 6 innings. Not good. But he did strike out 8, didn't walk anybody. So, there's that. Got the win due to some bats waking up towards the end of the game. So, good start for him. 12.5 million this year, 12.5 through 2056. So got him for most of his formative years. That'll be good. Nicholas Ratbreath PA or Pie. Yeah, I still don't know how to say that. PA Pie. I don't know. This will be his second full year in the WBL. He started off terribly last year in his rookie year. I mean, his ratings weren't all the way up like they are now. He started off terribly, and he really caught fire in the last 2 to 3 months of the season. He went from having like a 6 ERA down to a 4.02. His WAR was like negative 1.3, and he ended up with a 2.5. So he really caught fire. He walked a lot of dudes, but his control's gotten better. It was like a 40, I think, when I was starting him last year. So he'll still walk some dudes because that control's not very high, but it's not going to be as bad as it was. He works hard. His stamina at 55, which is, more closer to what I want, and that hold runner's at 80 because he's a lefty, is really good. 3 really good pitches: cutter, splitter, curve. Um, just need to get that control on up there. As you can see, against righties it's still kind of low. Against lefties it's in the 50s, but still need to get that up there. But 22, he's got a long career ahead of him. Got mashed around by, well, actually, he did get mashed around by Little Rock, but it was in 1 inning. He gave up 1 run in 5 innings and 4 runs in 1 inning. Um, Little Rock tore him up in that, I think it was the 5th inning. But he'll be back. Should strike out a lot of dudes. Third, Jude Braley. Jude's got 360 pitches. 65 stuff, 55 movement, 60 control. It was 65, 60, 60 before the beginning of this season. Movement dropped down to 55 though. Not sure exactly why, but it is what it is. Good stamina. Hold runners isn't great, about average. Came in last year and pitched a couple games and did well. Threw 5 solid innings against Istanbul. 6 hits, 2 walks, gave up 2 runs. Got the win. This should continue to improve. OSA actually thinks his control will get to 65, which would be nice. But need that control to continue to improve. He'll be all right. Tristan Scheel, number 4 guy. Like to see that cutter get to 65. Nothing great. High stamina, high hold runners for a right-hander. Good stuff. He's gonna be a decent dude. He started out in my bullpen last year. Then I got him to started 23 games. ERA went down to 4.17. I think he actually had an ERA under 4 as a starter, if I remember correctly. So yeah, it was a solid season last year for his first year, and we'll see how it goes. Started off really well. 8 shutout innings against Istanbul. 5 hits, 1 walk, 6 Ks. He is going to be a fly ball type pitcher though, so going to have to watch that. 12 fly balls to 5 ground outs and 6 Ks. So he had more fly ball outs than any other out. Abdul Jalil Hood is my number 5. This is actually his. It was a team option year that I wanted to void, but something happened. I don't think I was paying attention well enough when I did my exports, and I executed apparently instead of voided. So here he is as my number 5. The good news is he's an extreme brown ball pitcher. So, if you're going to have a number 5 that you're paying 6.8 mil for, that's one to have, I guess. He didn't have a very good year last year, but, start this year against Istanbul was really good. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 walk, 1 run, 10 ground ball outs. So, more of that, please, Abdul. More of that, please. All right, let's look at the lineup. Chad Childs playing second base, leading off. Um, he's been a good second baseman defensively. 2048, 2050, 2051 in Gold Gloves at second base. Some of these ratings have dropped. I know his range may be about the same. Some of these ratings have dropped though. I know they have. His contact rating dropped by 5. His eye dropped by 5. So we're battling that. We'll see if it continues to go down or not. He's going to be sharing time with Tony Gonzalez at second base. Tony Gonzalez will be mainly going up against right-handers while Chad goes against left-handers just because Tony's really good versus righties and not so much versus lefties. And Chad is actually better versus lefties than he is righties. Second, Felix Alvarado, one of my young guns who is absolutely just demolishing the ball in his time in the WBL. 38 starts last season. He had 9 doubles, 5 triples, 10 homers, batted 340, 368 on base, 688 slugging, 2.1 WAR in 338 games. 4 starts this season. It's got 2 doubles, 2 homers, 4 RBI, batting 526. Already got a .6 WAR, on pace for a 19.9 WAR. We know he won't reach that, obviously, but still, just if he can get that power up to 75, I mean that he would. I don't know. He looks like a player. Only 21, be 20 and 22 in May. He just looks like a player. Glad to have him. David Lopez, one of the $9 million men from back in the day, 2042 IFA signing. Been my starting third baseman for years now. He's going to hit 20 homers, have an average close to 300 somewhere, a little north, a little south of it. Last year was his best year as a pro. 23 homers, 26 doubles, 44 walks, 307 average, 356 on base. Plays really good defense. His range has actually gone down. I remember when he came into the league, he had like 55 range. That's gone down, but still playing good defense. Bat's still there. He's 28. I just signed him to an extension, a 3-year extension for $12 million a year. So he's making 10.5 this year and next, and then 12 for the following 3 years. So he'll be 32, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32 when his contract runs out. Let's see. TN2, I'm going to say 2. I don't know if it's 2 or 2. I'm not sure how. I'm going to guess since it's tie that it's 2. So that's what I call him. I call him TN2. He's still hated by everybody. Disliked, just because he took some drugs. Don't get it, but he's led the league in homers the last 2 seasons, so I like him, and he's going to stay in my lineup. Just a power hitter, really. And he's got good eye, which I like. His defense is lacking. You know, not real happy with that, but it is what it is. He's gonna hit for power. He's my 4-hole man, and he's already hit 4 homers this season in 5 games. Walked 5 times, so He's also on pace for a 19 WAR season. These guys got a lot of these hitters got off to a really good start, and I don't expect them to keep it up. The profit making 20.5 million. Like I said, if I could go back and do it again, I probably wouldn't have signed him. Paying a DH that much money is it's not a good move in my opinion. Now that I've kind of seen how deals are being made and stuff like that, but it is what it is. I love the profit. I love that he can hit for power, walks a lot. He used to hit for a good average too. His contacts dropped like 10 points, so I think the new profit's going to be hitting in the 270 to 280 range instead of the 310 range like he was. Those three, 2048 to 2050, were probably his best seasons that he'll see. Batting 312, over 410 on base, OPS of 990s. I think those will be his best seasons. But he's still a force. He is still a force. That power and that eye. He's going to get on base a ton. He's going to hit some homers. So I like that coming out of the 5-hole. Leg hair Neanderthal Jeeves, the Jeevester. Another contract that I kind of wish I hadn't done because he's really starting to fade on me. But it is what it is. I've got him for this year, next year, and then a team option. So, yeah, I mean, he's off to a good start this season. So maybe you have a little bit of a resurgence here. His contact rating dropped 5. His avoid Ks rating dropped 5. His defense is slowly starting to decline. His range has dropped 5 about each year for the past 3 years. So he's slowly declining on me, but he was the man for me. I picked him with my first overall pick. Well, no, sorry, my second first overall pick, but it was a second overall pick in that year. And he really led the charge as a second baseman. He really led the charge. He was the dude for the Bulls for a while, and he was really good too. So that's why I signed him to that contract, just kind of as a thanks. Tomas Gonzalez in right field. Off to a good start this season. Kind of an average type player. Played well for me last year. 30 doubles, 17 homers. Struck out a ton. 1.2 WAR. I don't know. Nothing great. He's in his final contract here with me. If he starts struggling, I will be putting Octavio Caniliac in his spot, which will probably happen at some point anyways, because I pulled Caniliac up. I was going to put him back down to AAA because he's not going to get the swings up in the majors that he would in AAA. But he's basically ready. He wanted to be in the majors. His expectation was to be in the majors. So I put him on up. The only thing I'm worried about with him is that outfield range. 40 is not very good. And these show it. So we'll see how that turns out. But he will more than likely be taking Tomas Gonzalez. Oops, wrong Gonzalez. Tomas Gonzalez's position at some point. I don't want to affect morale though, and his expectation is starting lineup, so we may be leaving him in. We'll see what happens. Gustavo Bronco, his defense, he actually had 70 outfield range before this last sim. I don't know what happened to make it drop. But he was extremely good defensively. Still is, but he was really good before that. His ratings are kind of wobbling back and forth. I'm not real sure what to expect out of him. His discipline potential was at 60. Now it's back to 55. His contact dropped to 50 and then went up to 55 again. So he's kind of wobbling everywhere. Still only 24. Still trying to find his way. Off to a decent start this year. If I could get 286, 348 out of him, I'd be happy, even though he hasn't shown any power yet. He's just got 6 singles and 2 walks. But he's going to be in my 9-hole most of the time. So, anything out of there is good if he can just continue playing really great defense too. And that's the Bulls. You can see in their rankings, the offense has just jumped out and really started kicking ass. Um, the pitching has not been as good. Hopefully, we'll get it there. Um, but yeah, that's it for the Bulls. Last but not least, Buffalo. They're on a roll, 5-0. Took two from False Bay and swept Little Rock. Uh, do I need to say anything about Twinkle Toes? Um, Besides between the contract and everything that went down with Lloyd being a Lloyd, um, Raul Robles, 65, 65, 65, really good looking pitcher. He's pitched really well the past couple seasons for Buffalo. Again, a constant thing you're going to see with this team is their age, 30. Um, Most of the entire team's over 30. Rat, 33. Good looking pitcher, good looking ratings, but old. We'll see if he holds up. Fernando Soto, 31. The stuff is decent. I'm surprised it's only 55. I would think looking at that 60. Um, but his last 2 years haven't been very good. Kind of declined with Buenos Aires in 2051. Was really shitty with Buffalo last year. One good start though so far against Little Rock this year, so maybe he's turned it around. And Francis Tangles Driscoll, age 35, so he's really nearing the. Well, I won't say nearing the end. His ratings are still really good, so and he's a leader, so he's still pitching well. His last two seasons probably the best of his career. So you got that. Um, all right, really good start versus Little Rock in his first start. Let's see. Leading off would be Hildebrand Tiny Zwager. Swagger Jacker. Not much just for power. He'll still get on base though. Last year he wasn't very good at bat. Still had a positive WAR. I'm gonna guess mainly because of his defense, because that defense is sick nasty. Um, Hard worker, so good shortstop. I'd like to have him. Good shortstop. Bailey Gilliland, who kind of like Jeeves, is starting to slowly deteriorate, but is off to a hot start this year. Um, Still hits for power. Strikes out a ton. Still hits for power though. Miguel Pinto Chavez, former Bull. As you can see, his injury history is wrecked. He's 32 years old. He would get injured 1 to 2 times every season for me. He's been with Buffalo for this is his third season now. He has yet to have an injury, and I'm furious about that. Still hitting for power. 25, 39 home runs. Really good player. I loved it when he was on the Bulls. Um, I mean, he had the capability of just destroying teams and going crazy. I think he's lost a little bit of that now, but he's still got good ratings. He's still a good player. It just depends on if he's going to get injured or not. 4 homers to start the season. Off to a good start. Esteban Paz, depends on how you want to say it. Really good defensive catcher and hits for a lot of power. Hits for a pretty good average too. Better than you would expect. Better than I would expect. Linus Inquist, best contact hitter in the game, bar none. On base percentage is really high too. Probably the best pure hitter in the game. Can't play defense for squat. Basically rolls around in a wheelchair, but really good freaking hitter. Ben Jihad, age 34, rating starting to deteriorate, but still a good player. Off to a really hot start. Can these guys keep it up for the entire year? That's the question. They're all in the mid to low 30s. Depends on how good they can hold it together as to where Buffalo will go. The bad thing for Buffalo is that the playoffs are at the end of the season when everybody's worn out and tired. John Sawyer, really good defensively. Bat, you can get on base. I like that. You know, if your contact's not going to be high, at least be able to get on base. So that's good. And last but not least, Bernardine Morato, Brazilian. Can't get on base. Good defense though. No, nothing too bad there. And his ratings, his bats are right below mine. His pitching's been better though. Which yeah, he's got really good pitching. So yeah, I would say Buffalo would be the favorite. Um, you know, just because of all the money you spent on those guys and all the ratings they have, but they're all old. So can they hold it together is the question. Um, I guess that'll be answered throughout the season. But yeah, so that's my South League roundup. And my next couple videos, I don't know if they'll be done today or not, but they will be on the top prospects for each squad and the international complexes. So, all right, I'll check back with you guys later.